Close your eyes and imagine this scene. You're watching the final lap of an exciting Formula One race, and Lando Norris, McLaren's young star, is leading the pack. The world is watching. Could this be the moment that Lando finally solidifies himself as an F1 legend?
Okay, what damage do you have? Talent.
But then, disaster strikes. Maybe a wrongful split-second decision. Bad luck, or maybe he's just driving the wrong car, but it always slips away. Again. The crowd's cheers turn to groans, and Lando is left wondering, will it ever happen? Will he ever stand at the top of F1 as world champion, or will he be remembered as the best driver who just never made it? This is the story of Lando Norris, a driver who has it all, the talent, the charisma, and a natural gift behind the wheel, but for some reason, it's always like fate has other plans for him. Let's get into it. First off, we need to acknowledge that Lando Norris is special. From the moment he burst onto the F1 scene in 2019, he's had that kind of spark that you just can't teach. Born in 1999 in Bristol, England, Lando's path to F1 felt almost predestined. By the time he was 14, he was already dominating the karting scene, winning the CIK FIA Karting World Championship in 2014. And let's not forget his seamless transition into Formula cars. In 2017, he won the European Formula 3 title, cementing his reputation as one of the most exciting young drivers in motorsport. But what makes Lando so great isn't just his skill behind the wheel, it's his personality. He's funny and relatable in a way that most F1 drivers just aren't. Whether he's streaming on Twitch or joking about pineapple on pizza, he's just built a great connection with fans that few drivers can match. People want him to win because they like him. He's not just a driver, he's a character, and that's pretty rare in this sport. But let's be honest, all the personality in the world isn't going to matter if you can't perform on track. So how has Lando's career measured up so far? Well, when Lando's on his game, he is just amazing to watch. He's had moments that prove that he's not just good, he's great. Let's talk about a few of his standout performances. Let's start with Austria 2020. Remember the opening race of the 2020 season? Lando grabbed his first ever podium in a race that had it all. What made it even sweeter was how he earned it. On the very last lap, he clocked the fastest lap of the race to edge his way into third place. It wasn't just about luck, it was a masterclass in knowing when to seize the moment. That performance made everyone sit up and take notice. McLaren had a rising star on their hands. Russia 2021. So if you're a Lando fan, Russia 21 definitely still stinks. He was leading with just a few laps to go. Victory was in reach, but then the rain came. And in a split-second decision, McLaren chose not to pit him for intermediates. This was a gamble that backfired horribly. Lewis Hamilton swept in to snatch the win, leaving Lando devastated. Watching him try to hold back tears in the post-race interviews was heartbreaking. That race was a reminder of how cruel this sport can be. Suzuka 2023. Let's fast forward to 2023, and Lando's performances at Suzuka showed just how much he's matured as a driver. Back-to-back podium finishes in a car that wasn't quite at the level of Red Bull or Mercedes showed just how much he's grown. He learned to squeeze every bit of performance out of his car, and it's paying off. But for every high point, there's also a low, which brings us to the other side of Lando Norris' story. Now, look, nobody's perfect, and Lando Norris is no exception. While his talent is undeniable, there are a few factors that keep him from reaching the pinnacle of the sport. Let's break it down. Now, Lando has a tendency to be inconsistent at times. On his best days, he's untouchable, but on his off days, it's frustrating to watch. Take Turkey 2021, for example. A poor start and questionable tire management saw him drop out of contention. These dips in performance are what separate good drivers from great ones, and if Lando wants to be in the category of a great driver, he needs to improve on that inconsistency. Lando's aggressive driving style is thrilling, but it's also a bit of a double-edged sword. When it works, it's spectacular, but when it doesn't, it's a bit costly. He's had moments where overstepping the limit cost him valuable positions or even race wins. Russia 2021 is a perfect example. Yes, the team made the wrong call, but Lando's stubbornness in staying out on slicks played a part too. Experience is supposed to teach you when to take risks and when to play it safe. Lando's still trying to figure that out. Now let's be honest, McLaren hasn't been a championship contending team for years. While the car has improved in recent seasons, there's still a lot of room for improvement in the performance department. Lando has often found himself in a position where his talent is greater than the car beneath him, and to be really great, well, he's going to need a car that's befitting of his talent. In F1, no matter how good you are, you're only as fast as your car. Next up is mental toughness too. F1, it's a brutal sport, both mentally and physically, and while Lando has shown incredible resilience, moments like his breakdown after Russia 21 make you wonder a bit, does he have the mental stability to consistently handle the pressure of fighting for a championship? The mental side of the sport is just as important as the physical, and it's an area where Lando still has some room to grow. Now, when you think of McLaren, you think of legends like Ayrton Senna, Alain Prost, Mika Häkkinen, and Lewis Hamilton. These drivers not only had the talent, but also the ability to deliver under immense pressure. So how does Lando compare? Let's talk about Senna. Now, Ayrton Senna was relentless. He wasn't afraid to push the boundaries on the track and off. Lando Norris had flashes of that same hunger, but does he have the willingness to risk everything for greatness? Next, Mika Häkkinen, the Flying Finn. He knew how to endure the lows before reaching the highs. His journey with McLaren, it wasn't easy, but his patience and drive eventually won him 2 world championships. And for Lando, it's a similar story. He's had to endure a car that isn't consistently capable of fighting for wins. The question is, will he stay with McLaren long enough to see the team be great again, or will he grow impatient and race for another team, just like other great drivers before him? Now, Lewis Hamilton's greatest strength is his ability to perform at an elite level week after week. That consistency is what separates him from so many others. Hamilton's career with McLaren started out really positively, but it wasn't until Mercedes provided him with the perfect car that he truly dominated. Timing was everything. For Lando, the challenge lies in navigating the same tricky balance. With McLaren winning the Constructors' Championship in 2024, we now know that they have what it takes in technicality. If Lando can learn to bring the same level of performance and consistency as Hamilton in every race, the sky's the limit. So what does the future hold for Lando Norris? Will he go down in history as the greatest driver never to win a championship, or will he eventually overcome the hurdles and claim his rightful place at the top of the sport? Now, no one doubts that Lando has talent. It's there, obviously. His ability to extract every ounce of performance from the car, his fearless overtakes, and knack for delivering when it matters most are all signs of a champ in the making. The issue's not talent, it's again timing, consistency, and to some extent, luck. Now, McLaren has shown signs of improvement, especially with recent upgrades and podium finishes in 2023. In 2024, at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, McLaren won the Constructors' Championship for the first time since 1998, with Lando Norris leading from start to finish. So if McLaren can continue on this path and consistently deliver a race-winning car within the next few years, it's really not far-fetched to say that Lando has every chance of becoming a world champ. The concern really is whether he can be consistent enough to deliver this. There's also the possibility that he could leave McLaren. Teams like Red Bull and Mercedes might come calling if their current drivers move on. Imagine Lando in a Red Bull alongside Max Verstappen. It would be a rivalry for the ages, but would Lando thrive under that kind of pressure, or would he struggle to step out of Max's shadow? And finally, Lando's mental game would certainly be a key factor. Can he handle the crushing disappointments and turn them into motivation? Can he keep pushing forward even when things feel hopeless? These are the questions that will determine whether he can go from being a fan favorite to a world champion. And there you have it, guys, the story of Lando Norris, the prodigy, entertainer, fighter, and maybe the best McLaren driver who might never win a championship. But the beauty of Formula One is that nothing is certain. Lando still has plenty of time, and if there's one thing we know about him, it's that he doesn't give up easily. So what do you think? Will Lando Norris defy the odds and become a world champion, or will he join the ranks of F1's greatest what-ifs? Well, let us know in the comments below, as we'd love to hear your thoughts. But before you go, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to DRS Speed Hunters, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.